Boom! We are live on Unicorn Chef. I am your host, Bryson Bort, joined by James Bierly.
What's up, guys?
So let's start with a few intro things here.
Yeah.
I started the show 5 years ago during COVID when everybody was losing their damn mind. And I figured, you know what? I got to eat. Other people got to eat. And let's make the kitchen a little bit more accessible, which is why we don't do anything crazy. These are all easy meals that you could cook along home with us. And Star Brown came to me the end of last year and said, hey, I loved that show. Can we produce it? And I was like, that'd be great. I mean, the only reason I stopped is I live on an airplane with Scythe, so I can't. It's really hard for me to do a show when I'm constantly in a different city. And it's like, as long as we keep up with the same principles, right? A guest chef every week. We publish the ingredients in advance, and we highlight a charity. That's it. And they've been doing that. And in fact, really want to call out not only Star, but Mike Ellis and Amy Stokes-Waters for all the great work that they've been doing as guest chefs. And such a good job that we've actually won an award. So a European blogger award for most creative format here. I'm also joined in my kitchen by my twin sons, Alex. Where's Jacob? There we go. There's Jacob. Yep. I don't know why my screen. Oh. Well, that was weird. Chrome is like trying to force an update. I haven't seen it.
Of course it's trying to. Perfect time, right?
Did Google get bought by Jump Cloud? What's going on here? So James, why don't you introduce yourself? Tell us what we are making today.
Yeah.
And then the charity and how.
Yeah, absolutely. So James Bierly, I'm the co-founder of Secure Point Solutions. We're a very small business focused MSSP. So we have clients from as small as one up to whatever. We just like helping the little businesses because we ourselves are a little business. Been doing that for coming up on 6 years, and Many Hands for Haiti is actually one of our clients as well. We do help nonprofits a lot, and what they're doing is they are trying to help solve a lot of the problems that are going on in Haiti right now. Here in Central Iowa, they have a number of thrift stores, which they're amazing because one, you truly know where your money's going instead of like a lot of the big name thrift stores. And not only do they sell thrift items, but they're also bringing items from Haiti here that are being made. So they're super cool things there. And they recently have kind of gone away from Many Hands for Haiti because they also are helping a small island called Abaco, which is north of Haiti. And their intention is to kind of expand across into other areas. Great group of people. We've been happy to support them with our time, talent, and treasure. And anything you guys want to throw in, awesome to help. And if you're ever in Central Iowa, come shop one of their thrift stores. They're awesome. So we're gonna make black pepper chicken Asian dish. I actually think this was like a Jet Tila recipe that I saw and then I worked on a little bit. But it's pretty simple, and it's actually going to be refreshing because I'm only going to have to make one batch because my family is out of the house right now. So they'll come back, and if there's some left, they'll snack on it later.
So we can adjust the amount of chicken. We don't have to use 2 breasts if it's too much.
Nope, you can. Yep. The worst case in this is if you go a little too heavy with the chicken or any of the other veg. Just won't be as saucy, but no, I think it'll be fine.
Cool. Well, looking forward to getting started.
Yeah.
So what do we do, chef?
All right. So the first step would be to chop up your chicken, slice, dice, go thin, against the grain, all those kind of basic tips. And then you're going to throw it in with the cornstarch, salt, and some pepper. Those you can do kind of ahead of time. You'll mix it up. It'll kind of make chicken a little slimy. I think that's called velveting, the technique.
Yes, velvety is the nicer word. Nobody wants any meat, or I think any food to be slimy, James.
Right. Yeah. So velveting is the term. You do that. You can set it aside, and that'll help kind of get a good brown on the chicken. Do it with other meats too, and then so once you want to get your temperature up, medium high heat. Since I don't need to cook a ton of this, I'm actually just going to use a cast iron instead of the turbo wok. So
I'm going to break out my fancy wok.
Oh, there you go. Now I'm going to get like wok envy or something.
Dun, dun, dun.
Excellent. There you go. Oh man, it's helmet.
We're having fun in here.
I have an induction wok that is crazy hot. But again, if you're trying to cook double batches or whatever, it gets tricky. So I have to cook things.
First time I moved to Florida, I had an induction stove, and you just can't feel the heat.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I cook by feel, and you can't feel the heat. You can't really tell where it's at, as opposed to, I'm so lucky now because it's pretty rare in Florida. I have gas.
Oh, yeah. I've had electric for so long, but I haven't had like true induction stove. But the first time, when using the induction wok, you take it off there and you're like, was this thing even running? But the pan's still like screaming hot, and I'm like, okay, this is like some weird space magic. It's the science stove. Okay, so once you got your pan hot enough, and you'll add a tablespoon of vegetable oil or anything that's high temperature. Avocado oil is a real popular one. So you give it a little, as soon as I pop the top there. Now we're somewhere. Give it a little swirl, and then you're just going to add your chicken in. Always be careful because things get exciting. And and just spread it out to the pan. Let it start to brown. Could take you 5 to 7 minutes, depending on your stove and how much chicken you actually might have chopped up.
You're ahead of us. My sous chefs are still working on it.
No worries.
We have a little council going on the chicken.
All right, it's looking good from where I see it. All right, pretty good technique.
Oh, well, thank you. I appreciate. I showed him what to do.
And if it's depending on what you prepped ahead, while the chicken's going, it's always a good time to slice up your onion or mushroom. I got lazy. I just bought the already sliced ones. Sometimes they're the same price. Sometimes they're not. Whenever
they're on sale, I'll get the sliced ones.
Yeah. Just don't use canned mushrooms, please. Those are a item of their own. All right. Take that on. All right. Give your chicken a stir, flip, whatever. Brown food is good food, to quote Anne Burrell. So. Okay. All right, that's looking good. Did you guys fire up some rice to go with it for tonight? Oh, I think you're on mute, or my speaker died.
You are. I am on mute. I accidentally pressed my physical microphone button. So my trick to rice after I rinse it, first of all, I do what I call the Chinese grandmother approach. So I just do the finger's worth of water over the rice. I never measure anything. But then this one, a little bit of rice vinegar, and then I put 4 tablespoons of butter with it because I have a whole bunch of rice, so it's a lot of rice.
Yeah,
and I put it on low, and it just is. It kind of works like a rice cooker when you just keep it on a really low temperature, because that way it doesn't burn from the bottom, and it just slowly boils. And by the time the meal is ready, the rice is ready, and with that amount of fat in it, it just covers it and comes out really well.
Oh man, I like the butter idea. I've done the rice vinegar and obviously rinsing it and all that. But yeah, I'll have to try the butter, because as you might guess, we make a ton of rice when we do. I ended up realizing we were out of white rice. We just got back from vacation and we didn't have any white rice, so I'm making just some noodles with like a Asian peanut butter sauce, just because I can.
Into the wok, and we are into the wok.
All right.
Walk this way, talk this way. That's Aerosmith, kids.
I
think you might know who that is.
You might know who that is?
Probably.
They say that they claim they might know who Aerosmith is. Is that because of like Guitar Hero or something?
But that'd be the generation before us.
Oh, the generation before you. Oh, okay.
Yeah, no, the Guitar Hero.
couple nights ago, I was grilling outside and had a classic music or classic rock mix, and they had the audacity to go from Creedence Clearwater Revival to playing Bush, and I was like, wait, those should not be on the same channel. And then I'm like, I was like, great, I'm the old guy now.
It's the weirdest thing. It happens to all of us.
Yeah.
I think my favorite expression on that is "youth is wasted on the young."
Indeed.
If only you ever had any.
What's that?
If only you ever had any youth.
If only I ever had any youth. You can talk into the microphone if you want to talk smack.
Oh, okay.
Because I know that you feel safe right now. So when I beat you up, that there's video evidence of it.
Anything else? No?
Nope. So what we're going to do right now is we are just searing the chicken here, so it locks in the juices. So that's how you keep a moist chicken in your dish. And then we're going to throw in everything else.
Absolutely.
So we don't have to get it cooked all the way through. We just want it sealed. And the reason that I use a wok like this is you get more surface area for the heat. I know that they also have some of their friends watching at home, so I'm
that's awesome. Take notes.
going a little 101 on why we're doing what we're doing.
There you go.
I believe that is the case. So what have you been up to?
Well, we've been obviously just working to, help out small businesses. Had the privilege of, I got to speak live at Wild West Hacking Fest last year, so that was kind of a check of the bucket list, and we've growing our team, trying to grow out capabilities. We're really, just that's the big thing, and then obviously trying to find that balance of work and personal and all those kind of things. Why
don't you talk about Wild West Hacking Fest? What was your talk on? Explain to folks what that is. Yeah.
Well, so Wild West Hacking Fest, for those that don't know, it's a 3-day conference. It's held in Deadwood, South Dakota, of all places. It's hosted by Black Hills Information Security. Great group of human beings there. And so my talk was, I've done a series of them. This one was the first live one, but really to kind of drive home the fact that small businesses, really small businesses, need our help. It doesn't matter if you're doesn't matter if you're some like amazing Splunk Lord or like a CrowdStrike Jedi. Your kid's dentist
Did you say
office.
Splunk Lord?
Splunk Lord, yeah.
I have not heard that one before. I think that's going to be our outtake from this show is Splunk Lord.
All right.
Is Chris Pratt doing that one too?
maybe that'll be a later role. But just the businesses that you go to on a daily basis, they're not protected, and they don't know that they're not protected. I probably, when I talk to a small business, almost the immediate thing that comes out of their mouth, oh, we're too small to be hacked, or, oh, we don't have anything of value. And I'm like, great, now I gotta spend time dispelling the myths before I can even get you actually to listen what we're trying to do. So my talk at Deadwood was really just to help those that are more used to working in enterprise, whatever it is they do, to just, hey, try to engage with your local community. If you have a favorite coffee shop, go talk to the barista, go talk to the owner, and just say, hey, there's things that you can do, some basic hygiene. Have you heard of MFA? And things like that, and then you can start building a rapport. I've even gone as far as suggesting to people, hey, if you have leftover hardware, and who doesn't in our community doesn't have hardware, build somebody like a little elastic stack on some hardware and see if they'd be interested in letting you install Sysmon. Looking good. There you go. But you have them do that, and now you'd actually have like a black box for when an incident happens. Some company gets hit, they call their insurance company, the insurance company calls whoever they're supposed to, and then you can walk in and say, well, there's this computer that I guess has been monitoring stuff, and the IR team will probably absolutely love you. They'll be like, oh my gosh, he can at least recreate the last 10 days, So just trying to raise the awareness that, there's just as an interesting number, there's 13 million businesses with less than 9 employees in America, and that's 90% of our businesses here. So, got the shades. There you go, rocking it.
Yeah, so I've done some statistics on that in the past. There are, I believe, 32 million businesses in total. Of course, the majority of them are small businesses. And I think a lot of folks inside of our industry don't realize that these folks need help and they don't get it.
Yeah.
And so what I was surprised to hear when you say we're too small, we're not going to get hacked, that's still the case. 5 years later from when we were on stage and Chris Krebs stated at RSA that we have the coming scourge of a national security threat of ransomware. And I figured ransomware was the great equalizer that everyone was like, you know what? Because ransomware just doesn't target. Anything I can get access to, I hit, which is why your libraries, your local power plant, and a lot of the things we're seeing down at the small parts of the city, city level for small towns and places in the United States have been getting hit.
Well, you're exactly right. I mean, they've gotten ransomware put together now where it's so smart that it's like, okay, this seems like a small network. We're only going to ask for $5,000. They're more likely to pay that way. And, and for bigger businesses, they're obviously doing a lot of recon before they actually, start lighting things off. It's tough. It's tough all around. There's, when we're talking those small businesses, the realization that this is somebody's livelihood. This isn't filing a K-1 or whatever it is with the SEC because your company got popped. This is, a business is leaving the community now.
So where are we on our recipe? What are we doing?
All right. So if your chicken has been browned, you set it aside. You are cooking up your onion and mushrooms, letting those get nice and happy. And then at the next step would be adding the stuff that's considered your sauce. So you've got your garlic, soy sauce, oyster sauce, sesame oil, and water in there. So those will actually also, once you add the chicken back in, a little bit of the cornstarch will kind of come into play there. But for now, just add your sauce when you're ready.
Yeah, so we've got several sauces we're going to do over here. You want to show them off? You can model the sauces, guys.
Models of bottles.
That's a black garlic puree, which I'm going to add in here for a little bit of a subtle flavor on top of the diced garlic I did.
We got
There
sesame
you go.
oil.
Yep.
We have soy sauce. We have rice vinegar.
I'm not putting that in the sauce. That was just for the rice.
Okay. We're saying all this stuff. Take
Yeah.
Fish sauce.
Yeah, and I'm going to do finish my rice with the cherry blossom. Show you.
There you go. Oyster sauce is also kind of a base sauce when it comes to making most Asian food. Oh.
Here, you want to smell how intense this is? Smell that.
What the hell?
Can you hear him coughing? So for those of you who don't know, black garlic is fermented garlic.
Yep.
And it's very pungent. If you are a 16-year-old teenage boy, you have just been overwhelmed by the bottle. And one of you get me a some water for this, about half a cup.
I feel like my first black garlic experience was probably similar to my first, trying an unfiltered cigarette or something. Just that, oh my gosh.
Smoking is bad, kids. Don't do it.
Smoking is bad. Cooking is better, though.
He gets the half a cup.
The Soviets have an aphorism that if you don't smoke and drink, you die healthy, which says a lot about the Russians.
Oh yes. Oh yes. That ism was not in our class that I took, but it definitely checks.
Well, so the prevailing discussion these days has been around the Iranian conflict. I don't know if we're currently at war or not. I don't really know. That situation seems really fluid. But there have been no shortage of ambulance chasing from the cybersecurity community, all going, hey, the Iranians are doing this. Here's your top 10 list of things you can do. And if you're a vendor, here's our software that will stop it. So, James, what do you think could happen? What is the threat the Iranians pose? Is there one or isn't there?
I mean, I think they're a capable nation state, and they so anything that they have been doing, they would potentially continue. Would they ramp up operations? I mean, yeah, absolutely. I don't see this being something where we've opened the gates of cyber war or something like that. Most of our customers, if they're going to be targeted by Iran, they were targeted 3 months ago as well as practice runs or something. But I just tell people like, hey, you might see an increase in phishing. You might see an increase in other things. The motives behind those might be a little different than they were previously. Maybe they're trying to phish you not for financial reasons, but because they're trying to get into something and break it. So we try to stay away from the hype and just deliver the information. But I can see it being a potential increase, but how much of an increase is really hard to it's hard for anyone to say. The vendors definitely will have opinions, that's for sure.
Wambulance got to go somewhere, right?
Exactly.
Got to pay for that gas.
How are y'all doing over there?
So we've got our green onions getting cut here by Alex, and we got our little sauce going there. Mine has red peppers and carrots along with the mushrooms, and then Alex and Jacob both showed off the different sauces we put in ours. So we should have a pretty rich sauce before we add everything back in.
Excellent. I like the sound of that. This is one of those recipes too. If you love vegetables, slice up some carrots. Do celery if you want. Do whatever. Water chestnut.
This is your chance to be fancy with baby corns.
There you go. And the nice thing with the baby corns is you don't have to actually cut them. You just take them out of the can, drain them. One thing I like to do when I'm making dishes like this, and if I'm trying to throw in some extra veggies, is I'll cut the veggies different ways. So you got carrot sticks, dices of onion, other, cutting green onion on like a long bias, so they have angles to them.
Fun.
So kind of like that. Oh, there we go. Where you just turn to the side, slice. And I think it's just because when you usually the first time you see food is you're seeing it. You might smell it coming from the kitchen, but you're seeing it. So if it looks beautiful or looks good, it's a good start. If it just looks like it was slopped onto a prison tray, then it might still taste good, but it's going to look like hell. So
aesthetics actually do tie into our perception of taste. So
absolutely,
taste actually comes from our nose, but what we look at, if it looks prettier, will taste better to us. So putting a little bit of effort to being artistic or how you plate can make a difference. Don't go overboard. Don't worry about it too much, but it's one of those things that's just the difference between here and here.
Yeah. One, especially because you're doing the white rice, something that we do here, kids really love it, is we'll find a bowl. I've got like small kind of ramekin type bowls, but even a cereal bowl, pack it full of white rice, and then just smack it right onto like the center of their plate. So they get this cool like mound of rice.
Well, it's like a restaurant, James.
Yeah, exactly. It's doing that thing that a restaurant probably charges a few bucks extra, but just doing it in your house. And it's just a bowl. It's something that they're filling and then putting it in there. Let's see. What do I need?
So what's the family favorite?
Family favorite, probably what gets requested the most. Oh man. I make boneless chicken wings, but it really all it is. So really what it is though is I take
basically dice this up, coat it, and then fry it.
Kind of, but I also I drop it in I brine it, and I cut them into like just weird strips, so they don't look like a nugget. They don't look like a normal piece. There's a restaurant around here that does it kind of that way, and I just was like, you know what, I can do this. It's not that hard. So that was one of our. That's a requested one. Homemade pizzas. We do that out on our grill. Those always come out good.
How do you do it on the grill?
Well, so I have a pellet grill that will actually get up to like over 700 degrees. So we'll set up a pizza stone and everything, slide them out there onto the stone. A couple 3 minutes later, it's ready to come out. So they're nice because the kids can kind of pick the ingredients they want on theirs, and then I'll just cook it and then hand it off to them. So
that's something I used to do when they were kids. Is each one they would design their own little pizza.
Yep.
But I do pizza Fridays here. They're just visiting for the week, and we are going to be making pizza. So I'm going to try. I've never actually done the grill with the pizza stone. And I only have one pizza stone, so we're going to see, because I'm going to have to make 2 pizzas for all the kids. So kind of we'll get to compare pizza stone versus non-pizza stone from the grill.
Yeah. What kind of grill do you have?
It's a blazed gas grill. It gets to 500-600 degrees.
Yeah.
I left my Kamado Joe in Virginia when I moved down here because I couldn't fit a giant ceramic grill.
Yeah. That's a workout, just opening and closing those things.
Yeah, I miss it. I don't really have the ability to do a good smoke down here. I can still cheat. So I have an indoor aluminum box for smoking. And then I also have an aluminum box out of my grill, so you can do an indirect.
Yeah.
I mean, it's almost as good as a smoker, but you just not quite.
Yeah. Well, and I mean, it depends on what you're making. Are you just looking to throw a little kiss of smoke? Then that's probably fine. You're probably not doing a brisket in it, but you're gonna the things that you want to have that slight smoke, like a steak, put it in there, let it smoke a bit, get a little bit of temperature to it, then crank it up and reverse sear that sucker.
I'm a startup founder. I'm too broke to do brisket, so I can wait.
I know how that is, though.
Yeah, how's your startup going? Where are you at? How tell us more about it. How long you been doing it? Why did you start it? Where are you all at? What are you trying to do next?
So we've been in operation since August of 2019. We didn't do a lot with it at first because I had a non-compete for my previous job. I got into it because a lot of the IT providers that are out there, they're not doing security, in my opinion, the right way. I'm not saying my way is better, but they put limits on minimums on how much a contract should be, all these other things, and I'm like, that doesn't help the small businesses. So I got started doing that. We completely bootstrapped it because nobody's gonna invest in a service provider unless we've made the magic widget, and we haven't. So but along the way, we've built out a work study program for people wanting to break into InfoSec. We've been able to put together scholarships and internships, which for a company our size, I think that kind of feels good that we're able to automatically start giving back in ways. So yeah, it's been an interesting ride. I've told people a couple of Wild West Hacking Fests ago that I didn't know if I was going to come up there with swag or resumes, trying to get myself and my team hired somewhere else. Ultimately, it's like, okay, yeah, hey, here's a cup, here's some t-shirts, everybody. And but there's always that, and you probably know how it is. It's like you can have a good year, and then the next year you're kind of not sure what's going to happen. And I know just how things have gone for other startup founders that I know. It's tough, it's tough sledding out there. But at the same time, I think most of us can't go back to a regular corporate type job. I'd probably be better off with running a food truck than going and working corporate IT at like Wells, or corporate security at Wells Fargo.
Yeah, I describe that as it's that moment where you leave the matrix and you're kind of like, I can't go back. Like, yeah. I'm out.
Not getting plugged back in.
It's really hard to imagine that.
Exactly. Yep. All right. So,
what do you want somebody's asking for the little kid's opinion on this. What opinion are you looking for in the chat?
Oh, like do
no,
they like
on my
this
side? Somebody in the chat is asking one of the kids to chime in on something. Like, let little man on mic for a sec. So I'm trying.
Yeah, my kids are out of the house because
you can have little like sock puppets of them if you like. That's not weird. That's cool.
Well, this one they do enjoy. I can say that from past experiences because nobody's really talking. They're just all eating. So
kind of the best compliment you could get as a chef.
Exactly. When it's quiet at the table, you're like, I think I'm doing something right.
All right, my chicken is back in my sauce, so I cooked it down, and I've got my vegetables nice and soft. So we are putting everything together.
Okay.
So I'm probably about 5 minutes from plating here.
Good.
How you doing?
Ours is looking all right. I think my chicken. I think I got the like giant mutant chicken, so it's they were a little bigger pieces, but it soaked up all the sauce, and it it's still going to have the flavor. I probably should see if I need to add more black pepper to it. Tasting your food and all those good suggestions.
But don't do it before your chicken is not cooked.
Right. If you're not sure if it's totally ready, maybe temp it or cut it and look at it. Don't give yourself food poisoning.
Tony is saying we should have planned the socks, do something like MST3K with cooking in the socks.
I always wonder from cooking shows when they taste kind of mid recipe or towards the end, like, are there times where they taste it and they have to like go with it, but secretly it tastes terrible because they screwed something up or something was missing?
So I'm a little embarrassed by this. I just checked on my rice and it hadn't even started a slow boil, because normally I do it on a different burner, but I switched for the show, so I got it wrong.
Oh no!
I've increased the temperature now.
That will fix everything. Hotter means faster, right?
Yeah, the mythical man month. It works on stoves too.
Exactly. I think we've all had a mistake like that. I know I've made I intended to make something in a crock pot, set it up, left for work, came home, and I was like, I don't smell it. And then I looked and I'm like, why does it look so terrible? And I realized it hadn't cooked at all. So,
Dad, I have a question from someone here. Do we use raw honey?
Do you guys use raw honey? Okay. Would you like to jump in on that? You helped assemble the ingredients, or are you using honey?
No. I do not believe that we are.
Mike, are you using honey in yours?
no. Although
You could add honey into this and you get a little bit of that spicy and sweet. I'm almost intrigued to try that one, Mike.
oh man, I've got hot honey that I might just sneak in here.
I just taste tested mine, and I almost want to add like a little bit of spice, but I'm not going to because of them.
Let's do it. I'm going off the reservation.
Off the reservation.
And besides, there's a local hot sauce company that just started a hot honey, because everyone's doing a hot honey. So this gives me an excuse to try it.
The best one I've ever had, because obviously Mike's Hot Honey is a thing, and we first debuted it on the show 4 or 5 years ago with Carolina Terrazas. But I found this one, and I can't remember the brand, but it was spicy peach honey. And
okay.
It was really good. It was one of those things you just see it in the store, you're like, try that out, and there we were.
Yeah, this one is so local company Lola's hot sauce, and they've definitely expanded. Like they're I've known somebody up in Seattle, and they're like, I've seen it in a Safeway or whatever. But yeah, they've added a hot honey, and I just tried it, and it's definitely delivers on both words. Just a little touch. Do some science. That's the great thing about cooking too. You can, and especially if you've got people who can kind of say, oh man, this would kill if it had whatever. Actually, I just realized that I had modified this recipe from the start, because the salt was Tara Wheeler's mushroom salt that she was so gracious to send. And so like I got to thinking, I'm like, well, I have it. I might as well try it. And we're in this, and going with mushroom kind of all made sense. But
my chicken and sauce is done, and it is delicious. Now I'm just playing catch up on my rice. Yeah, Tara Wheeler also sent me. I think I got chili salt and mushroom salt.
Mushroom salt, chili sugar, I think.
Oh,
She
is it?
sent chili sugar to us. Yeah, I've got it actually right here. I still have some left of chili sugar. Thank you, Tara. Okay. Yeah, mine's good to go. My
I don't know
Asian.
where to find mine. Oh, you want to check out cool dude here?
Good.
Future Anthony Bourdain already being cool in the kitchen.
Hey, anything you do, be cool while you're doing it.
You want to try one? Try a piece of chicken.
All right.
Oh, that's hot.
Yeah, sorry.
That's really good though.
It's really good.
Wow.
Well, tell.
Yo, like 10 out of 10. That's really good. That's like it like melts in your mouth.
So the trick to that is how you keep the chicken moist. So one of the things I do is I salt my chicken well in advance. So a dry brine effectively, and then like we said, you seal the juices with it on that initial sear. Take it out, and then when I cook it in with the sauce, I get a moist chicken. You want to try it?
Okay. Almost as hot as me. It's amazing.
Gotta admire the
10
confidence.
out of 10 and amazing from the 16-year-olds.
Oh, there you go.
I might get 5 minutes apiece while they tear through the food when it's served.
I know how that is. I'm gonna plate mine here real quick. A little heavy on the noodles, but whatever. A couple more of these. In keeping with the, things look beautiful. I throw a little sesame seed on top of something.
Oh yeah, where are my sesame seeds? Check in there if there's any sesame seeds, and you check in the spice cabinet. Nope, cabinet. There you go. I get the tuxedo ones that are black and white because it's prettier.
Yep. I do have.
It's prettier.
Yeah, I do have both. I haven't. That's a good thinking to actually switch it up and do both. So there's our finished product here.
All right. Let's get our screenshot. Our food together.
Oh yeah.
Mm. Yep.
Yeah. There we go. Excellent.
All right, hold on. I have to do screenshot. Ready?
Yeah, now I am.
James, thank you for joining us on Black Pepper Chicken. What is our charity for the last sign off?
Yes. So Many Hands for Haiti, based in Central Iowa, but helping out Haiti and other island countries, helping their people out. So yeah, please give and support them any way you can. But thank you for having me, Bryson. It's always awesome to do stuff like this. And till next time.
Yeah. Good to see you again, my friends. Look forward to more. And for those of you at home, we have Unicorn Chef coming every single week. Obviously, I'm still just a special guest host because of my work schedule. But Amy, Mike, and Star are holding down the fort every single week. So there is always something to cook along. So you, at least one day of the week, don't have to think about what to make. And this makes leftovers. So you might even be able to stretch it out. So see you every week. Take care. Oh, there we go.